Oh shoot, I didn't realize that I was muted. I apologize. it's it's a Sunday morning stream. I didn't realize that I was muted. I actually deeply apologize. I did not realize that I was muted. I did not realize that I was muted. I actually like I actually deeply apologize for that. I did not realize that I was muted. Bro. When did my parents come back home? And Nico, why are you stepping on my foot? And now I lost the goddamn piece. No, I didn't. It's on the floor. Yay. I win. Move, move, move. Nico, move. Move! I don't know why you were in my way. You little goof. Nico, get out from our closet. $19.40. Only 4. Yikes. Yikes. Double. 89 kilometers. Wow, it's just 6 p.m. Yeah, in the evening. It was in the evening. Oh wow. Oh wow. 43 people died? God dang, bro. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh gosh. Okay, so that's what happened in 1987. Oh wow. Oh, oh wow. And this was in Chase, Maryland. This was so it technically did reach Wilmington, Delaware. Because think about it. Because think about it. Delaware it actually is different from Maryland. So technically, they actually did reach Maryland. I mean, Wilmington, Delaware. They actually did because if you think about it, Delaware and Maryland, like like so they they did reach Wilmington, Delaware, but it was going from wherever to Washington D.C. And wow, I wasn't born when this happened. Not even close. I was born. Yeah, I was born 17 years later, like after the accident, and this was even on a northeast corridor, which I believe it starts in Massachusetts, in Boston, and it ends in I believe in Florida. Well, if I'm probably wrong, I'm not 100% sure. Like, I'm not 100% sure. You know, like I'm actually not smart like that, though. I'm not smart at trains like that. You know that's why I'm watching these people. You know, with like like Thunderbolt 1000 Productions. And I watched his recent video. It was remastered version um, of the last Gigantic Real Disaster. Canada on July 6, 2013. I did watch that. Honestly, and well, yes, I was around when that happened. Actually, well, not only, but like, was like there. I mean, like, but like, I was around because I like when that happened. I was like 8 or 9. I was like 8 or 9 when that happened. For that, and then I was also around with the Fort Junction wreck on the Northeast corridor that happened on 2015. I'm just surprised though. Like, surprised. I'm actually surprised. And looking at the images of that, that's what shocks me though. Like that's what shocks me though. With the images like that. It was an Amtrak ACS 64 that is around today, of course. But you can only see them corridor. And that is probably, I would think, not 100% sure. It was number 601 or Amtrak Regional 188. I believe she is around. Or I don't know what happened to that. ACS 64 601. I don't know what happened to that. I would think it dropped. I mean, it is what I'm thinking. Oh, that's on there. Hello? Yeah. Yes, I did. Okay. 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 Alright, I gotta keep the doors locked. Alright, so that was my dad that called me. Good thing I actually paid attention to my phone. Because, like, I didn't hear you. I just looked at my phone and see who it was. I thought it was mom, actually, but it was dad. Make sure everything is okay. Well, actually, it is. I'm like in my room. Nothing bad is happening, and I'm like, no. And no, I'm not gonna steal like that. That's the reason why chips keep going missing because of me. So that's why I'm not taking a chance of stealing. I'm not gonna take that chance of stealing. But anyway, like I was saying, with the Amtrak ACS 64 601 with the Frankfort Junction wreck, which I believe it's just outside of Philadelphia, or Philly for short. Philly for short, because I always say Philly. That is, yeah. It actually is just outside of Philadelphia, in Frankfort, PA, in Philadelphia. I'm surprised that is actually part of the county, though. I'm just surprised that it, like that's I don't think so. Which I believe that is in. That is in Bucks County. 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 That is in I'm not 100% sure though. Not 100% sure. But anyway, that yeah, and that wreck and that yeah, and that Frankfurt Junction wreck. I'm just surprised. You know, the Northeast Corridor, and like like a lot of the like I know like more about like Amtrak crashes and derailments. What happened just recently? In it, it was a train that in I think it was September of 2021. I'm not 100% sure. I think it was September of 2021 when it happened. It was a Amtrak derailment in Montana. But I don't know where to be exact. You know what? I am going to look it up anyway. I'm going to look it up anyway. I'm going to look it up anyway. No, not that. Amtrak derailment, Montana. It was in Joplin. It was Joplin in Montana. It was on September 25th, 2020. Ah, dang. Yeah, and that was just recently. That was just recently. And it's been almost a year already with that. Wait. It only killed 3 people? It only killed 3 people? What? Wait, what? Wow. I'm just shocked when that happened though, too. And like, I just heard about it, you know, when that happened, it actually stunned me. Like, I haven't seen anything like that though. Well, now you know, a new generation, and like right now it's getting worse. Well, actually with for Rick and Amtrak trains like that though. I doubt it was a HCS4. I doubt it with that train. What's kind of suck. I wonder what caused it anyway, though. I wonder what caused it. Wait. 8 railed? What? Okay, so 2 remained upright. Okay. So I think that's probably there. And it's my time, I mean, because of Montana. I mean, like, what? Think about it. It's that. So, we had that. Well, it wasn't nowhere even near here, so it was in Montana. So we had that, and then we had the Frankfurt Junction wreck in 2015. No. Then we had the KC train collision in South Carolina. I think it was a day after the Super Bowl in 2018. And then we had the Frankfurt Junction wreck. And then we had that in 2015. And then the Amtrak crash that we had recent. I mean, not recent, but just like there. What other Amtrak wreck that we had in the United States? Wait, I think I have one. Well, I mean, this was like years ago, but we had the Bayou wreck in 1993 in Mobile, Alabama, with an Amtrak Limited, and then we had the worst one in 1987 with the Amtrak went crashes. I mean, well, yeah, crashed, but what's that other word? Collided with the Conrail, and then something else. So, this was before Amtrak, though. Then we had the Salem, Illinois train derailment in 1971, right before Amtrak became. And I think that's probably it. Yeah, so we a lot of. So I think we had Amtrak crash or whatever, like that, like. And I think 7, I think, or no, like 6 or 7. I don't know, but that is just there. That train to run down here anymore. I mean, actually, kind of sucks. I mean, I think the last time that they did like trains, like here was like, I want to say the early 2010s, like early 2010s when that. They don't do them today either. I mean, like they don't do them today. I mean, like that. They don't do them today down here. I mean, I wish they did, but they do not. Well, hopefully one day, like, I want to like, I want to catch like a, like film or not film. You know, like you like catching the train. We're not like riding on it, but just like catching it. Like Amtrak, CSX, Norfolk Southern. Well, the Conrail isn't around today. It continued in, I believe, 2018. We still have SEPTA, still do. Even to this day, we still do. And we still have the older Amtrak. Well, like, not the AEM 7s ones. We don't have them anymore. That was like the 90s. Not the 90s. Like the late 70s. Like 1970 into like 2000s maybe. Early mid 2000s. We have Amtrak. I love Amtrak because they go up to speed, up to 125 miles an hour, or 210 kilometers an hour. Oh well, I don't see that though, but I do anyway. I do anyway. And anyway, yeah, we still have Norfolk Southern, we still have Amtrak, we still have CSX, SEPTA, and all those others. We still have them. So yes, this is so that oh my god, I can't speak. That actually gives you like information about what's left today for trains. I'm talking about like United States, like not Canada, not not the UK or all those other countries. Well, even though they do have them, but I'm talking about like here. Oh shoot! Shoot! I forgot one. BNSF, but that only goes in like like California, Nevada, Texas, and like all the states in the West. But very rare if I saw one. Like very rare because they only do it in states in the West. Like California, Nevada, Arizona, Texas, all those states. Like in the Pacific Northwest. Like or the Northwest, like whatever, like it is. So yeah, we have Amtrak, we have Norfolk Southern, we have CSX, we have SEPTA, we have NSF, and I think I would. I mean the like those are the only names that I know that are around. Still, well, Amtrak was around the longest because it was around since 1971, and it's been 51 years ago. That. And then I think Conrail was around in the 80s, but I'm not 100% sure. Well, we don't have old trains anymore. No, we do not. Oh shoot! I forgot one more. Shoot. Two more. No, or I forgot Mark and New Jersey Transit. I forgot. Oops. And the I don't know what it's called. It's in Massachusetts. I don't know what it's called. I believe it's MTA. I don't know. I mean, I'm not smart. Yeah, so I got Amtrak. We have CSX, Southern, BNSF, SEPTA, New Jersey Transit, Mark. I always forget some that I'm actually pretty stupid at that. Yeah. Like we don't have those like old trains like the Penn Central and other trains like that. Or well, I mean, there are like a few stations like old trains. Like I don't know, like there are like a few states that still use old trains. Like they don't because they use Amtrak, SEPTA, some New Jersey Transit, sometimes that. Well, only New Jersey Transit goes into freaking New Jersey. So, but anyway, sometimes you go to PA as well. Like if they do actually freaking go to PA, then and speaking of New Jersey Transit, I actually saw one. Right when you get on the Atlantic City Expressway. Well, not like you enter the city expressway. There are train tracks there. Yeah, there's train tracks there. I saw one. Right after we went to the arcade in Atlantic City, or we went to the boardwalk in Atlantic City in January. An event. I was, but then it was late. It was actually too late. So good thing that I see that though. I haven't seen that before. Well, now I did. Woo 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 woo. Oh.
Shocking and infuriating. Blood and urine tests showed Gates and Cromwell were both smoking marijuana, and it was found that they had been passing a joint back and forth in the cab of 44. However, both denied it at first.
After we left the yard when we were in. Do you think marijuana had any effect on you?
Hence, Gates missed several signals warning him not to switch to a set of tracks. Marijuana also produces very little visual signs compared to people who drink alcohol, as an example. So it's often hard to tell if somebody had marijuana cross over a set of tracks. The signals indicated it couldn't be true. It was also revealed where the Conrail crew speeding, but the Amtrak train was too. The speed limit for freight trains at Gunpowder Interlocking was about 50 miles an hour, and passenger trains at 110 miles an hour.
Dang.
A speed restriction that was in effect at the time of the accident limited passenger trains to 105 miles an hour as well. Conrail ENS 121 was going 60 miles an hour before its emergency brake application, and Amtrak 94 was going 125 an hour.
Oh,
however, even if the Amtrak train was not speeding
21
10 miles an hour,
kilometers
it would
per hour.
have made very little difference and would still have no stopping in time when Jerome spotted the Conrail units. Toxicology tests also came back negative in Jerome's body. It also discovered that the Conrail crew did not do their pre-departure tests before leaving Bayview Yard.
5044 only
errors
damage. Wow.
5044. The Pennsylvania Railroad style cab signals had the bulb missing, and a little whistle that would alert that they had passed a signal other than clear was silenced with that
Biggest signal
from 5045 and put it in 5044. Worse, the radio 54 operable radio in either end, the Amtrak crews.
Wow! I saw you Jersey Transit in the background.
That wasn't enough. Gates also apparently had quite the bad driving record, receiving a DUI and other traffic violations sometime before the accident. As a result of the NTSB's finding, he immediately suspended both Gates and Cromwell, but resigned instead of facing termination of employment. Gates was later charged with manslaughter by locomotive, and after pleading guilty, he was sentenced to 100 years in prison.
Yikes!
I sentenced mainly.
Yikes! 100 years prison? What? That's ridiculous, bruh. That is a century, bruh. 100 years in prison? Wait, what? That makes no sense, bruh. Like, bro, that makes no sense. Like, why would you say it for 100 years? Bruh, that makes no sense. Like, It said in like 10 years, not like 100. Bro, he wouldn't even survive for 100 years, bro. Like, literally, like, he wouldn't even survive for a century. Let alone freaking being sentenced for 100 years in prison. Like that makes no sense. Like, oh my god, like, why? Like, why? Like, literally sucks. Like, why? Honestly, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Like, on Earth, like, what? No, like, oh my, I can't speak. I'm lost. Like, I'm, like, literally lost here. Like, why 100 years? Like, seriously, he wouldn't even survive that, bro. Bro, like, nah. If that, like, nah. He's been sentenced, like, 10 years, not 100. Like, that makes, like, 0 sense. Like, no.
Lying to federal investigators, Ted served 5 years in Maryland
Only 5?
prison.
Because I was the engineer of the Power Engine 5004, I am ultimately
Only 5 years prison? For a moment.
I have accepted my responsibility.
Real moment.
Under Maryland law, a locomotive is considered as a motored vehicle. It was one of the first convictions of a locomotive engineer for crime in the state of Maryland's history. After he served his time, he worked as a drug and alcoholism counselor for about 5 years, warning people of the
To 8 days, 1986. I am sorry.
February 26, 1988.
Testimony can aid this committee. I believe that random drug and alcohol testing is the appropriate response to an industry-wide problem. Experience has led me to believe that actually in the field.
running heavy equipment. He still misses the railroad and still loves trains, and it definitely appears he's quite remorseful for his active positions. This includes locomotive engineers. Also, as a direct result of the collision, federal legislation was enacted to require the FRA to develop a system of federal certification for locomotive engineers. These regulations went into effect in January of 1990, and ever since then, railroads are required by law to certify that engineers are properly trained and qualified, that they have no drug or alcohol impairment in motor vehicle conditions.
So like Amtrak, that's a lot.
5-year period prior to certification.
Yeah.
The NTSB also recommended Conrail and other railroads to be more vigilant in spotting employee use substances like marijuana and alcohol, not to mention be more stricter on pre-departure checks so that errors like a missing
God, why is that so old, bro?
can be spotted and rectified, as well as tables. An inspection of locomotives in our area found units with tape whistles.
That's like old. You like, that's like really old right there, bro.
Recommendation was interested in signals. The Pennsylvania-style signals always had color for all aspects.
Nico, you're being a freak.
This accident would eventually lead Amtrak with color-coded positions now found all across the Northeast Corridor, with the only known exception being corridor between Paoli and Philadelphia, which still retains the Pennsylvania Railroad style amber bells. The accident to all locomotives operating on the Northeast Corridor to be required to have automatic cab signaling with an automatic train stop feature.
What's that?
Although common on passenger trains up until that point, cab signals come with a train stop and speed control had never been installed on freight locomotives due to the potential use at high speed. Conrail's device, called a locomotive speed limiter, or LSL, a computerized device that is designed to and control the rate of deceleration for restrictive signals in conjunction with cab signals. All freight locomotives which operate on the Northeast Corridor must now be equipped with an operating LSL, which also limits its top speeds to 50 miles an hour. Previously, freight locomotives were only required to just have cab signals, but not an automatic train stop feature. This system paved the way for automatic braking systems, such as positive train control, a system now installed on several lines, including the Northeast Corridor. As for the locomotive equipment, 54.5 was totally destroyed and was never rebuilt. Both AEM-7s 903 and 900, plus a few of the Amfleet 1s on front of the consist, deemed a total loss and scrapped.
Yikes!
5052 was eventually repaired at Juniata shops in Pennsylvania and returned to service, as was 5044, had minor damage. When Conrail split and ceased operations in June of 1999, 5052 was sold to CSX, renumbered to 5805, still retaining its Conrail until being sold in the early 2000s to Estrada de Ferro Victoria Minas, a railroad in Brazil, where it was regauged to 1,000 millimeter.
You're going to
gauge
Brazil,
tracks
no, joking.
and renumbered as BB367, number 744. It was last photographed in 2006 and is likely still in service.
6. Wait. Wait, so let me get this straight. If Conrail... Wait, hold on. Let me get this straight. If Conrail 5052 had severe cap and nose damage, how did they still rebuild it? Shouldn't that would have been scrapped? Because that is like severe cap and nose damage, bruh. Like that's like there's no like. But then yet they friggin' rebuilt it though. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it had severe cap and nose damage, bruh. Like, that makes, like, no sense. Like, literally. Why? And this ant is on my frick ad.
544 was also given to CSX, renumbered as 5801, also keeping its Conrail livery, also presumed scrapped. 2 years have gone by since it was taken to the shop and it is currently being repaired. However, I've seen it since the wreck. Amtrak 47 for severe damage to its cab was crunched after hitting the CSX locomotive. It's also presumed scrap. Collision 2019. It did itself 62 years later. The NTSB released their final report on the case collision in mid-2019.
Mid-2019?
After the wreck was cleaned up, the line was reopened. And CSX 130 was taken to the nearest shop and scrapped.
Oh, wow!
CSX 36 was taken to the shop as well, and it is currently being repaired. However, we have not seen it since the wreck. Amtrak 47 suffered severe damage to its cab after its nose was crunched after hitting the CSX locomotive.
Thanks.
Switches, such as the Graniteville train disaster, when a Norfolk Southern manifest collided gas that leaked. And most similarly, a 1956 head-on collision in Capture Open, causing 9 people to suffocate from the chlorine gas.
Yikes.
Instantly. In all directions after the crash, but wasn't too badly damaged. 36 suffered from the debris of both 130 and 47 flying in all directions after the crash, but wasn't to its left side. Just slammed into the CSX 27 seconds after 2:27 a.m.
Dang.
Launching the P-42
That's early in the morning, bro.
The air and over the top of 130 and onto its left side beside the train. 130's nose and cab were were completely sheared off by the Amtrak locomotive.
Yikes!
Cabin tier. 36 suffered damage from the debris of both 17 flying in all directions after the crash, but wasn't too badly damaged. Crew members, including the engineer and the Amtrak locomotive, instantly, and were the only fatalities in the crash.
Only two?
Luckily, as mentioned, the CSX conductor bailed out of the cab.
Oh wow, that's...
seconds before the collision. None of that means that any on the passenger cars were okay, however. The fourth car jackknifed almost perfectly in the middle, and all of the 8 passengers on board the Amtrak train bolted awake by the force of the collision.
Oh wow.
The 4 Amtrak crew were all injured, one of them seriously. 8 passengers suffered serious injuries, 62 had minor injuries, and 3 were not injured at all.
Oh wow.
The status of the remaining 14 passengers isn't known, but we know that they survived. When investigators investigated the crash site, it was found that the switch at the north end of Silica Siding was not correctly. The conductor and engineer said that the switch was set to the main. However, it was found that wasn't true. The target or some indicator on the switch was also a contributing factor, otherwise it would have reflected off the 130's headlights. Another factor was that the trains were in dark signal territory. The CSX was doing work on the signal system, meaning that they were totally not working at the time of the incident.
Oh my.
This points to similar occurrences in the past that were directly caused by misaligned switches, such as the Graniteville train disaster, when a Norfolk Southern manifest collided head-on with a local train in a siding, causing a chlorine tanker to rupture open, 9 people to suffocate from the chlorine that leaked. And most similarly, a 1956 head-on collision in New Mexico between 2 Santa Fe Express trains.
And
Number 91, the Silver Star, left New York City down the Northeast Corridor, with the final destination of Miami, Florida.
Miami, Florida.
The scheduled arrival time of 6 next day on February 4th. The train had 7 cars and departed New York, being headed by Amtrak ACS 64, number 665. When the train stopped in Washington, D.C., the ACS had to be changed out at Washington Union Station because electrification ended in D.C.
Really?
Therefore, a diesel locomotive was pulled out to pull the car south all the way to Miami. The locomotive in question was Amtrak P42DC number 47.
Oh wow.
And since it was an older unit built in the 90s, it had seen a lot of use over the years. Further down the line, a crew change took place in Hamlet, North Carolina. This would turn out to be that crew's last ride of...
Meanwhile, in the Columbia suburb of Case, South Carolina, CSX local F777-
Whoa, look, Interstate 95.
was doing switching duties at a loading facility just south of Highway Bridge. The power of 2 CSX AC-44CW locomotives, 130 and 36, with the crew going between units depending on which direction they were going. By 1:51 a.m., the train had 34 auto routes.
1:51 in the morning. God dang. That's early, bruh. Like early in the morning.
Or dispatcher if
Everything's in the clear, is that right? Over? That's right. We locked up in Silica.
was wearing the lock and the switch lever, supposedly set to the main line for the to pass. The engineer and conductor sat in the cab of the 130 waiting for a ride home. The engineer estimated they had been waiting for about 10 to 20 minutes when he asked the conductor if he realigned the switch at the junction of the Silica storage track and the main. The conductor said he replied that he was sure he got it. The conductor then requested engineer to turn on the 130's headlights to verify the position of the Silica storage track switch. But the light did not reach it. It was dark. There also wasn't a target that spun when the switch was thrown. Normally you would see it if the switch was open, or in this case. And you wouldn't see it, only see the edge of it if it's closed, such as the main. As the target would be parallel to your view, and you would be at it edge on. In the end, they stayed in the cab. At 6 a.m., the engineer got out of the cab to walk the 660 feet up the line to the switch to check if it was set properly. However, the light of the Amtrak locomotive was fast approaching. The engineer didn't have time to see if the switch was set before the arrival of the Amtrak, so on a nearby hillside, under the highway bridge, to watch the Amtrak pass by. However, both of the CSX crew were in for a shock when the Amtrak instead entered their siding that the train was parked in. They knew a collision was imminent, and the CSX conductor ran out of the cab and bailed off the locomotive, while the engineer ran up the on to avoid being hit by debris or falling rail equipment. The Amtrak crew, oblivious to what was happening when they entered the siding, noticed the CSX locomotive ahead of them and slammed on the emergency brake, knowing that these would be the last fleeting seconds they had left to live.
Yikes. I like the narrator, well, yeah, there was two people. Like, it was Thunderbolt himself and Ryan in the background. Oh my.
The Amtrak slammed into the CSX 20 seconds after 2:27 a.m.
Damn.
Launching the P-42 on top of 130 and onto its left side.
Okay, so well, I was sleeping at that time. Okay, so that was repair. Wait, but that's old. What? Let's see. Server liners.
Thousands. The Bud Silverliner 2s and St. Louis Car Company Silverliner 3s have been running since the 1960s.
Really?
But they have become more problematic due to their age and lack of ADA compliance. In 2005, SEPTA placed an order for 120 new Silverliner 5s from Hyundai to replace the liners. However, design delays, bidding disputes, and a new plant needing up in South Philadelphia delayed delivery until 2010, keeping older cars in service for 5 more years despite their issues. On November 9, TWU Local 23, the workers' union for the 2nd District, went on strike. This by union as the most hated man of the
Oh, word.
He and the union argued for higher wages, greater hours, amongst other things. This caused service on both Center City bus routes, all trolleys to be suspended, except for routes 101, 102, and 100, also known as the Norristown High School. This caused an outrage except to commuters, with most having to pile up onto regional rail to get to work. This quickly caused SEPTA trains to become overcrowded, having to deadhead to Center City once full. This caused a serious strain on the Silverliners, including the older Silverliner 2s and Bs. This was the last thing these cars needed. Despite this, SEPTA managed to keep the trains moving on day 1.
The very next day.
Until the very next day.
SEPTA. 2009.
No, 2009. It has been officially 1 day since the strike had started. A morning SEPTA R5 commuter train leaving from Thorndale to Center City, consisting of Mailer Silverliner 2s and car 257, a former Pennsylvania Railroad car made in the 1960s. As it its way to Overbrook, passengers and a conductor started smelling, much like burning trash, and smoke began car 257.
Oh, wow.
Fearing fire, conductors ordered everyone in 257 to move into the rearmost cars. Others, not wanting any part of it, got off at Overbrook Station, fearing a disaster.
263. Didn't make it that far, though.
The train managed to leave Overbrook, but it didn't get far. Just south of the station, around 52nd and Lancaster, facility, the smoke got worse. The engineers stopped the train and everyone was evacuated right before a fire started shooting out the windows of the car.
Oh
The
my.
operator bailed out of the side of the car long before the cab and the front end of the car were engulfed in flames.
Oh my.
At first, reports stated one person died in the burning car, but soon it was confirmed everyone made it out safely without incident due to the quick thinking of the conductors.
Oh my.
Passengers, however, were faced with another disaster. The first disaster was 257 catching fire. The second disaster was SEPTA trying to organize shuttle buses to take them to the city where they need to go for work. Most, fed up with the disaster, just walked their way to work.
Oh wow.
The R5 Paley-Thorndale line and the nearby R6 Kingwood line were suspended for 3 hours until 9 a.m.
Oh wow.
Which caused chaos, considering the fact that Paley-Thorndale was one of the lines with the highest ridership. But what could have caused this? Was it arson from a disgruntled SEPTA employee fed up with management? Did 257 work herself apart? Was it a cure?
Investigation.
Investigators quickly ruled out arson and discovered one of the passenger compartment heaters in 250 had not been cleaned properly by SEPTA crews. A pile of trash overheated the poorly maintained heater, starting fire. It was thankful the fire was put out by conductors. Otherwise, passengers would have panicked and possibly injured themselves trying to get out, or possibly die in the fire. In the end, the strike continued until November 9th. While after this, Willie Brown got his title of Most Hated Man of Philly. He told reporters that he had no problem with it.
Oh wow.
However, he did lose re-election as union president 10 months after launching this first strike. He gained it back in 2013 and has been battling with management ever since. SEPTA accused Brown of not participating in good faith negotiations, stating, "SEPTA negotiators have been working tirelessly to get a deal done. We're asking GW leadership to do the same for the sake of their members and the people who rely on them every day to safely get them where they need to go." Finally, in 2010, the Souliner 5s were ready for service, and the older Souliner 2s and 3s could finally be retired.
Oh.
Stored in Fraser Yard 7s. As for SEPTA Car 2 facility, now cooked and crispy, but has since been scrapped. This, however, wasn't the last time a SEPTA train caught. August 29th, 2018, Silverline 144 broke down in Glen Station on a Warminster train and caught fire. The cause is still unknown, however, 144 and its permanently coupled car 143 are both out of service, with 144 being repaired and 143 having its graffiti cleaned off. 10 years have gone by since this fire. Think about it. If the Silverliner 5s came on time in 2005, there's a good chance this disaster may have been averted, whether or not. Being cleaned off. Are both out of service down in Glenside Station.
Oh wow.
This, however, wasn't the last time a SEPTA caught fire.
Wow.
August 29th, 2018, Silverliner 4 144 broke down in Glenside Station on a Warminster train and later caught fire. The cause is still unknown, however, 144 and permanently coupled car 143 are both out of service, 144 being repaired and 143 gets graffiti cleaned off. 10 years have gone by since this fire, but if you think about it, Silverliner 5s came on time in 2005. There's a good chance this disaster may have been averted, strike took place. Not.
Well, it does kind of suck though that happened. And it was in 2009. That does kind of suck though. And that's something else came later on in 2018. So that happened. Ow! Oh, I'm sorry, my AirPod case.
Of positive train control. But 2 years prior, there was an accident that was a warning of things to come. On July 1st, 2006, just before the 4th of July rush, the train 1140 was running between Warminster to Center City, Philadelphia, and eventually the airport. 1143 consisted of Silverliner 3, 224, Silverliner 2, 218, and married pair Silverliner 4s, 453 and 454. With 30 Silverliner remaining runs out of Durs to their 2s and 3s.
Meanwhile, in the opposite direction.
At this point, another train sent the train 1134 to Warminster, consisting of all Silverliner 4s, with a single unit 299, married pair 370, 371, and single unit 407, was delayed more than 10 minutes at Fern Rock Transportation Center, but was soon on its way to Warminster. The engineer, 28-year-old Micheline Dinage,
Let's say 38.
was a veteran, being with SEPTA for more than 20 years.
Let's say 38, I think.
43
Or 48.
was to a stop at Control Point Grove,
Or 48,
just
whatever.
before Willow Grove Station, to allow for 1134 to pass. However, the operator 1143 thought he had waited long at Willow Grove and made his way down to the city.
And the signal just outside of Roslyn Station did so. It went from clear to red and back to green in a short amount of time. It didn't take her very long to realize that something was wrong. Instead of proceeding past the signal, she decided to stop the train. The signal and called in SEPTA Desk 2 to report the issue. However, no one replied.
The conductor walks into the cab to ask about the matter, explain the situation, and even the conductor tried contacting SEPTA Desk 2, but to no avail. Meanwhile, passengers board 1143 at various stations, unaware of the error the engineer had made. Passengers on 1104 sat and waited, wondering what was the matter. Suddenly, Joey 3 came into view. The engineer of 1134 yelled, "Brace for impact," and the engineer of train 1143 slammed his brakes. Impact derailed 4 cars, 2 from each train, and dented 8 cars from the force. The rest of the train cars stayed. Thankfully, no casualties. However, 38 people, including all 6 crew members, were injured. But how could an accident like this occur?
The investigation found stunning findings. The engineer of 1143 pleaded his case that the signal failed. He stated that the first signal at Grove North was approach medium, which means proceed to the next signal and speed. And that Grove South signal then showed approach, meaning stop at the next.
Found this wasn't true. The NTSB found the signals worked as intended. Actual signal readings for data recorders were that Grove North displayed approach and Grove South showed a stop signal. Clearly, the engineer of 1143 was lying to cover his date. After the accident, SEPTA fired engineer Alexander for his actions. But we solely to blame?
SEPTA themselves came under fire for the incident, as did the FRA. The alarm dispatcher's computer system was used to alert Batcher
Yeah, I'm okay.
to
I'm
many
just.
abnormal conditions. The overrun signal was only one of them. The alarms and the computer screen text were the same for all exceptions. None were distinguished by significance. The train dispatcher was accustomed to receiving several non-call alarms during a shift. As a result of this incident, he reflectively killed the audible alarm on for the overrun signal about 33rd sounding. Nearly 4 minutes and 20 seconds elapsed between the time when the alarm initially sounded and collision occurred. Had the train dispatcher recognized the importance of the overrun signal alarm, would have time to call and warn the southbound and the northbound train of the pending collision.
That's without the main dispatcher at the time on a smoke break and didn't return until after the collision occurred. In the end, the accident to be out of commission for the whole 4th of July weekend, but was back up and running soon after. The damaged cars were repaired and put back into service. Sadly, 224 was scrapped after retirement in 2010. Engineer Michelin was hailed as a hero of the Roslyn collision, since she knew the weird signal behavior indicated something was wrong down the track, and her decision to stop at the signal outside of Roslyn rather than press on prevented serious injury and death, not to mention reduced the severity of the accident by 80%. The Grove South switch had to be completely replaced due to it being jammed after the engineer 1143 forced his way through it, breaking the mechanism.
Oh my.
Following this, the idea of positive train control was born, and SEPTA began a system-wide project upgrading their signal system and replacing the signals on their X running lines to prepare for positive train control. SEPTA then became one of the very first commuter railroads in the United States to be certified for 100% PTC-ready status by May 2017.
Oh, yikes.
Sadly, it would only take after the Chatsworth collision in 2008 that killed 25 before other railroads would realize the danger, and the Frankfort Junction wreck that killed 8 in 2015 would be a red flag on the lack of progress some railroads had made in PTC implementation.
It's a shame how minor accidents are overlooked and people don't know about improving safety until live.
Been 13 years since the accident, and while the accident is a bit of an obscure forgotten tale, it was the accident that the very baby steps of safe rail system was made.
Alright, so I'm gonna end the stream here, but before I do that, I need to do this.
Going upstairs, come on.
Alright, this time. So I will see you guys later for another stream. And oh crap, I will see you guys then. Oh crap, that was a huge strike. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. And